Dear all, welcome to Legends and Lessons. Today we honor and remember the remarkable life of Pope Francis, a spiritual leader who left an indelible mark on the Catholic Church and the world. It is with great sorrow that we begin by acknowledging his passing. Pope Francis died peacefully on the morning of April the 21st, 2025 at 7:35 a.m. at his residence. He was 88 years old. His passing marks the end of a deeply impactful 12-year papacy. Today we remember the remarkable life of Pope Francis, a figure who left an indelible mark on the Catholic Church and the world. Now let's delve into the extraordinary journey of this legendary figure. Pope Francis was born as Jorge Mario Bergoglio on December 17, 1936, in Buenos Aires, Argentina. His roots were grounded in humility and hardship. His grandparents had fled Mussolini's fascist Italy and started life anew in South America. Jorge was the eldest of 5 children born to his accountant father, Mario Jose Bergoglio, and his homemaker mother, Regina Maria Chivori. They were raised in the lower middle-class neighborhood of Flores and experienced poverty firsthand. Jorge's early life was shaped by Argentina's political instability and financial challenges. During his youth, Argentina was undergoing political turmoil, with populist leader Juan Perón being re-elected in 1952. Despite these hardships, Jorge was determined to educate himself. Jorge pursued his education, studying chemistry at secondary school while working part-time as a bouncer and janitor. After graduating, he worked as a food scientist in a laboratory. While initially considering a career in medicine, a profound experience changed the course of his life. At the age of 19, a confession inspired him to join the seminary. Despite briefly doubting his religious calling due to a romantic interest, a near-fatal bout of pneumonia at 21 strengthened his resolve. In 1960, Jorge joined the Society of Jesus, taking vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. The Jesuit order, founded in 1540, places a strong emphasis on education and service, with members willing to go anywhere in the world. Jorge received a master's degree in philosophy and taught literature and psychology at several high schools. In 1969, at the age of 33, he was ordained as a priest. His early ministry included a pilgrimage to Jerusalem, cut short by the Yom Kippur War, and a period in Dublin, Ireland, learning English. Between 1974 and 1983, Argentina endured the Dirty War, a period of violent political upheaval. While his involvement during this time faced scrutiny, with some noting his silence against the dictatorship, others reported his efforts to help people escape, even providing his own identity papers. In 1980, he was named rector of the Philosophical and Theological Faculty at his alma mater. He also spent time in Frankfurt, Germany, working on his doctoral dissertation before returning to Argentina as a confessor and spiritual director. In 1997, Jorge was appointed Archbishop of Buenos Aires. He demonstrated a deep commitment to social justice and serving the disenfranchised, frequently using public transportation to visit the poor and doubling the number of priests working in shanty towns. His humility and closeness to the poor earned him the nickname the Slum Bishop. He lived a simple life, residing in a small apartment and cooking his own meals, rejecting the extravagance of the bishop's palace. He also restructured the archdiocese, enforced stricter financial discipline, and even sold the archdiocese's bank shares. In 2000, he spoke out against the church's complacency during the Dirty War, and later as president of the Argentine Episcopal Conference. He issued an apology for the church's failure to protect people. He became increasingly outspoken about Argentinian politics. In 2001, Pope John Paul II named Jorge a cardinal. As a member of the College of Cardinals, and he became known for his silence, humility, and resistance to church politics. Following Pope John Paul II's death in 2005, Cardinal Bergoglio attended the funeral and was considered a likely candidate for the papacy. He participated in the secret conclave and was reportedly the runner-up, emotionally pleading with his colleagues to vote for Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, who was subsequently elected Pope Benedict XVI. 8 years later, the unimaginable happened. In 2013, Pope Benedict shocked the world by resigning, citing his age and declining health, paved the way for a new conclave. After 2 days and 5 ballots, 76-year-old Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio was elected as the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church on March 13, 2013. This election was historic as he became the first Jesuit ever elected Pope, the first from the Americas, and the first non-European Pope since Gregory III in 741. He chose the name Francis in honor of Saint Francis of Assisi, a saint known for his love for the poor and his embrace of peace, simplicity, and creation. Pope Francis's first appearance on the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica signaled a shift in the papacy. He opted for a simple white cassock and the iron cross he had worn as archbishop, rather than the traditional red mozzetta and gold cross. He asked the crowd to bless him before he blessed them. As Bishop of Rome, he immediately embarked on reforms within the Vatican, cancelling millions of euros in bonuses for employees and cardinals on the board of the Vatican Bank and donating the money to charity. He chose not to reside in the luxurious papal apartments, instead taking up residence at a Vatican guest house. His actions reflected his persona as a man of the people and a friend of the poor, a man who breaks down barriers, a shepherd in the storm. Throughout his papacy, Pope Francis championed several vital issues. His commitment to the poor was evident in his organizing help for the homeless in St. Peter's Square, including setting up washrooms, a clinic, and a shelter in a former luxury hotel given to the Sant'Egidio community. He emphasized the duty to preserve creation and address climate change, seeing it as a moral issue that disproportionately affects the poor. He was a strong advocate for refugees, urging developed countries to welcome more immigrants. Pope Francis became a global voice for compassion and justice. He consistently spoke out for migrants, the environment, the marginalized, and the forgotten. He urged Catholics to care more about mercy than rules and challenged the Church to open its arms rather than close its doors. Pope Francis initiated significant reforms within the Catholic Church. He convened several synods or councils of bishops and laypeople to debate church doctrine on topics such as the family, youth, and the church in the Amazon region, culminating in the Synod on Synodality. This synod, considered the most important event in the Catholic Church this century, for the first time included women as 10% of the voting attendees. He called for dialogue and debate within the Church, encouraging clergy and laypeople to work together on a common vision for the future. He believed that when we enter into dialogue, we question ourselves, we move, and in the end, we are no longer the same as before. We've changed. Regarding social issues, Pope Francis took a more permissive stance on divorce. He made women full members of the Roman Curia but maintained the tradition that women could not be ordained as priests. He called for better outreach to LGBTQ+ communities and the decriminalization of homosexuality. He firmly denounced the death penalty, abortion, and euthanasia. He also spoke out against the rise of right-wing populism and actively pursued interreligious dialogue, welcoming representatives of Islam and Judaism as equals and striving for peace among all religions. He supported the ecumenical movement, seeking unity among all Christians. But he also confronted hard truths. The global child abuse scandal within the church had deeply shaken the church. Initially criticized for not doing enough, a visit to Chile in 2015 led to a significant shift in his approach after meeting with victims. He removed bishops, launched deep investigations, and called for a culture of accountability. He apologized for the church's silence during past atrocities, including the genocide of indigenous people in Canada. He also took major steps to reform church governance, reduce corruption, and elevate the roles of women in leadership and decision-making positions. Despite his widespread popularity, Pope Francis's papacy was not without controversy. His progressive stances infuriated many conservatives, leading to accusations of heresy. Some criticized him for starting initiatives without always seeing them through to conclusion. However, many saw him as an innovator bringing hope and unity, mending rifts with other religions and making the church more inclusive. He was described as gracious, an attentive listener with a big heart. In his later years, Pope Francis faced health challenges. From 2022, he used a wheelchair after a knee operation. He had part of his colon removed and suffered recurring bronchitis. Still, he continued his work, blessing the faithful, writing and guiding the church. In February 2025, he was hospitalized with bronchitis, which developed into a respiratory infection and bilateral pneumonia, exacerbated by the removal of part of his lung in his youth. After a period on a ventilator and over a month in the hospital, he recovered and resumed his duties, albeit with a reduced work schedule. But on Easter Monday, April 21st, 2025, Pope Francis passed away peacefully in his room. The world mourned not just the loss of a spiritual leader, but of a man who redefined what it meant to serve. Pope Francis will be remembered for his humility, courage, and commitment to the poor. He was a bridge builder between faiths, a gentle reformer of tradition, and a shepherd who walked alongside his people. His life is a lesson in simplicity, compassion, and unwavering faith. And though he is gone, the light he lit in millions of hearts continues to shine. Thank you for watching Legends and Lessons, where we remember those who made a difference.